Hey, my name is Jim Zaspel, and I used to do lots of these videos where I'd do coaching and seminars and workshops. I don't do that anymore. My only purpose for shooting this video and others that you'll see coming forward is to help equip you as one of our valued cash buyers to be more successful as a real estate investor. That's why we're sending this out. So if you know another landlord friend or aspiring landlord you think might benefit from this, then feel free to share the video. Today's, we wholesale a lot of properties, 10 or 15 houses per month. I also buy a lot of properties. We also wholesale a lot. And what I want to do is share with you some advice I was given as I started buying more rental properties about 18, 24 months ago. And share with you some things I've learned from other people as well as my own personal experience. So about 24 months ago, I think I had 4 or 5 rental properties, and now we're at 59. So 59 units, I think 48 or 49 buildings. I'm not counting a storage facility I'm buying tomorrow. That's different. So just residential. So the question is, and I had gotten burnt about 10 years ago. I bought a similar number, like 46 units, 28 buildings. I had gotten within 2.5 years of getting this business, and I was just really young and dumb and bought them all the wrong way. And I want to share with you some mistakes I learned then. So the question is, because I lost all those properties, and then I didn't buy any for several years and started again a couple years ago. So single family rentals, are they good or are they bad? So I'm going to share with you a couple of maybe common misconceptions that people have, and then how to do it right. So the very last tip I give will be, I think, the most important takeaway from this video, right? So what are some misconceptions that people think with regards to rental properties? One is, they take their monthly, say you need $8,000 or $6,000 a month to pay your monthly bills. $6,000, say you're going to net $200 per door, right? What is that? 30 properties. Oh, I need 30 properties. I'm going to live for free, right? So one big mistake is to live from the cash flow, right? I don't think you should do that at all. I think what you ought to do is build up a reserve, and then once you've got a reserve, how much reserve should you do? Maybe 3 months of mortgage payments, maybe 6, maybe 12. Maybe you need to have a certain maintenance reserve. Whatever your comfort level is, do your own math, figure it out for yourself. But once you've hit that reserve for your portfolio, for the cash flow, I think what we do is we just pay down additional principal. I'm 34 years old right now. My goal is to have a certain number of free and clear properties by age 50, and living off that cash flow does not help me accomplish that goal, right? I pay for my lifestyle off of my active income, right? So one big mistake, I think, is living off of the cash flow, right? Another one is, I just mentioned a second ago, not having any reserves, right? So how much should you account for? I think that you ought to set aside 8 to 10% every single month of your gross rent for maintenance, right? 8 to 10% for maintenance. And you might not spend it. You might not spend it this month. You might have to pile it up for a while, but eventually you have to do a new roof or whatever, right? Another big mistake people I see them making is not being real with the numbers. What do I mean by that, right? What I mean is actually calculating out what you're going to make, right? So let's just do a little bit of math for a second. Let's say your gross rent is $1,000, right? You want to account for at least 24% of that gross dollar figure as being expenses, right? So we're going to do $80 is going to be management. Sometimes we get management 5%, sometimes 10%. I just use 8% for the heck of it, all right? Then you got to take off $80 for vacancy, right? That's about 1 month a year. That's a very, very optimistic number to use, okay? Then you got to take off another number for, again, we talked about up here, maintenance. So then you're down to, what is that, $760, right? That's your true net rent, okay? Then you got to subtract out your principal minus PITI. Principal, interest, your property taxes, your property insurance, right? Now that is your NOI. That's your true, that's not your NOI. That's your cash flow, right? So very, very important to be real with those numbers, right? So let's say that, by the way, this number typically needs to be 1.2 or 1.25 times the amount of your PITI. So in this case, in this example, what's 760 divided by 1.2 would be roughly, so about a $600 a month mortgage payment, maybe 610 is the most that a PITI could be in order for the debt service coverage ratio to work. So be real with the numbers. Then when you actually have the cash flow, don't live off of it, right? Create the reserves, plan on maintenance. All right, so here's the big takeaway. So that's like some mistakes. Here's the number one key. So I'm part of a mastermind called the Collective Genius, and I asked a bunch of friends who've got 50, 100, 200, 300, 400 rental properties. I said, listen, what's the key to success in it? And there's two things that kill rentals and make it just be a horrible business, right? Maintenance. I can't draw worth crap. Right? My mom always told me I should be a doctor, not because I'm smart, just because my handwriting sucks so bad. Maintenance. If you're wondering what this bulge on my hip is, it's a Glock 43. It's a really cool gun. I recommend it. It's a great carry gun. Maintenance and turnovers are the biggest killers of real estate for rental properties. They just kill it, right? Because then your maintenance costs, every time you turn over, your maintenance costs go up. Every time you turn over, you lose your rent, and it's just a real pain in the butt. So how do you avoid maintenance and turnovers? Very, very simple. One is do full reno when you buy. Do a full renovation when you buy. I'll elaborate on that in a second. And then second thing is good management. What is good management? It means you get somebody who's going to answer the phone. If it's not you, if you're not good at it, we don't manage our own stuff. We use TCS Management in Philly. They're awesome to work with. Highly recommend them. They manage, I think, over 4,000 units in and around Philadelphia. They manage almost all my units. So good management is incredibly important. So they're answering the phone, responsive. Really important to be responsive when it comes to identifying repairs that need to get done and dispatching vendors to get stuff done. Tenants realize that properties aren't perfect and stuff might break and you got to get it out there, got to get people fixed. But as long as you're going to be responsive and contractors actually get out there, take care of your tenants, you'll have fewer turnovers. The maintenance prevents, or the full renovations when you buy it prevents a lot of maintenance. So what are some things to look for? Maybe you don't need to do a full renovation, right? If it's a 40-year-old house, you don't actually have to do a full renovation. So what are some things that are really important that you're looking for? Obviously, you got to have a good roof, windows, plumbing. You need PVC all throughout, right? And you also want to look at your sewer laterals, but that's a pretty isolated thing. And then electrical. And then I can't spell electrical. So you want your Romex wires. If you got a new roof, new windows, PVC plumbing throughout, and maybe new or very close to brand new plumbing fixtures, that's your knobs and your spigots and all that kind of stuff, and your electrical, then you're going to avoid 80% of the maintenance issues that you have in there as well. A couple other quick little tips that I recommend is one, no dishwashers, no disposals. At least at a certain price point, you can't have any microwaves. No microwaves. I think we supply washer and dryer. If we're adding forced hot air, we do add air conditioning. It's not that much more. It's a few $1,000s up front, and it rents your unit so much faster. You can usually get another $50 to $200 a month in rent. $50 to $150 a month in rent. So if we're adding forced hot air heat, we can go ahead and add air conditioning as well. It works especially well if you're doing rentals in like a borderline area. So maybe the area isn't ideal, but man, it's got air conditioning. Maybe a lot of folks at that price point, maybe that live in those areas, might not normally have air conditioning. So do them a solid, get them air conditioning, and you'll find you rent the properties a lot sooner. So if you want more properties to add to your portfolio, just go to EZ Homes PA. That's letter E, letter Z, Homes PA, like Pennsylvania.com. We've got new deals coming up all the time. Make sure you opt in to our buyers list. I don't know where you're seeing this, but make sure you go to EZHomesPA.com and opt into our buyers list. Thanks so much. Have a great day.